So listen, I didn't. So like when we were first starting the truck out, you know, we roll Cajun Boudin, we ain't roll Cajun gumbo, but I'm like, bruh, if there's gonna be a Cajun cooking competition, you better believe that we're gonna jump in that sucker, right? And I heard of the Cahaba Brewery Gumbo Gala just from word of mouth, and people were like, hey man, like they do this gumbo competition, you should jump in it. And at the time, we were a brand new business, and it's all donated. So it benefits Episcopal Place, which is like a home for older folks. And so didn't really have a whole lot of money. And so one of my customers was like, Matt, you got the best food in the world. We're gonna sponsor you. And so she got her business to help out and sponsor us for that first competition. And we were like, hey, you know, this at least will be an opportunity for us to get some exposure to the community, let people know that there's this new Cajun food truck in town. We entered the Gumbo Gala and we won first place chicken sausage, and we won first place People's Choice the first time we did it. And then this year we were back-to-back champs. So I tell people back-to-back world champions.
From serving his country to serving up the authentic flavors of Louisiana, this is the story of faith, family, sacrifice, and purpose. Born and raised in Lake Charles, Louisiana, Matt Coltrin answered the call after September 11th, dedicating more than 21 years to the United States Air Force. But no matter where in the world his service took him, he never forgot the flavors of home. After retirement, Matt traded his uniform for an apron and launched Acadiana #1, taking authentic Cajun cooking to the streets of Birmingham. What started on 4 wheels soon became something bigger. Today, Roll Cajun Boudin is bringing Louisiana culture, hospitality, and unforgettable flavor to Alabama. Tastemakers. Meet Matt Coltrin, the man behind Roll Cajun Boudin.
Here on Tastemakers, we like to extend our platform to those individuals who are not only building and providing a way for their families, but to the ones who also play a pivotal role in the nourishment of our communities. Whether it's investing countless amount of hours into going that extra mile to provide a service that says, we appreciate you and your support, or just lending a helping hand to those in need. If you appreciate what we do in highlighting those who so often get overlooked for their hard work and dedication to excellence, do us a favor. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And don't forget to like and share. With your support, we'll be able to grow this channel and get more exposure to the people who really make things happen. Tastemakers.
Putting on for the city. We've been running checkups for a minute. If you about your business, let me put you on. We handle business for a living. Tastemakers, what we boast of.
Hey y'all, this Tastemaker Chad coming live in our rig today for Rolling Cajun with Matt Coltrin. Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, what's up, man? My name's Matt. I'm originally from Southwest Louisiana. Family's from Broke Ridge. I was raised in Lake Charles. After high school, I went and ran track at UL for a couple of years. I'm not much of a runner, but I did pole vault. And after 9/11, dropped out of the Air Force. Dropped out of college. Ended up joining the Air Force. And did 21 years, retired, moved here to Alabama for my first civilian job. Yeah, that's what's at least brought me here. That's in a nutshell, I guess.
Well, what led you into the business of doing Cajun food in Alabama?
Yeah, man. So I think first off, like I've always been like super passionate about Cajun food. I think like the word Cajun in the restaurant industry is like the most prostituted name out there. So like everybody on their menus, when they have something Cajun, it's gonna be something spicy and ain't gonna be nothing Cajun about it. And so when I was in the military, I used to travel around and I go to all kinds of different Cajun restaurants. And I'd always tell my partners, like, bro, there ain't nothing Cajun about this. Let's go back to the house and let me show you how you do it. But being born and raised in Southwest Louisiana, you know, we have the privilege of eating some of the finest food in the entire world. I mean, people travel hundreds and hundreds of miles just to visit where we have the privilege to grow up because the food is so good. So the combination between being passionate about cooking and my heritage, because I'm a blood Cajun, I ain't no fake Cajun. And then also the combination of just genuinely like enjoying the way like food brings people together, and me being like a big people person. I never anticipated being in the service industry. Like I've been in an aircraft avionics guy pretty much my time in the military, and I did a lot of different leadership stuff, but food is kind of like my new purpose. When you're in the military, your purpose when you wake up every morning is to serve your country, go out, work hard, take care of your dudes. And my first couple jobs was a lot about money. And money's super important because without it, you know, you can't pay the bills, the business doesn't win or survive. But what I like about what we're currently doing is like you can lead with the passion, not only for the food, the heritage, and the people. And if you do a really good job of that, then the money is going to take care of itself. That's what I truly believe. So we started off, I started off selling boudin in my spare time. I had a telework job and I thought it'd be a good idea. I thought I made pretty good boudin, and there were a lot of people who had like moved up here after Katrina and after the hurricanes, and I'm like, a lot of people from Louisiana, when they go home on leave, they'll buy hundreds and hundreds of pounds of boudin and bring it back with them to wherever they live, because there's not a lot of people who can make good boudin. And so I was like, man, I'm gonna just start selling it on the side and just see how it does. And so I bought a trailer, I put a freezer in it, and I started selling boudin links cold. I made a little website, I had a Facebook account, and then people started to call me and ask me for hot links and boudin balls. And I kept telling people, I'm sorry, I don't do it hot, I just do it cold. But they kept calling, and so I was like, well, bro, you got to meet the same health code criteria on a grocery store, a mobile grocery store, as you would a food truck. So I just flipped my grocery into a food truck, and then in August of 24, I started doing little catering gigs and started serving hot food. And then from August to December, I started getting more calls. And in December, I was like, you know, YOLO. I've been working for the man my whole life. I'm having so much fun in this truck selling boudin to people. They seem to like it. So I resigned from my job that I moved here for, and I went full-time boudin man. And then in 2025, I was sharing a kitchen with a taco lady, and I used to go in there in the middle of the night, and I would cook all the boudin, and then I would just disappear. You wouldn't even know I was there. But then it got to the point in 2025, we went from making boudin once a month to nearly sometimes 500 to 600 pounds a week, plus all kinds of other stuff. And so me and my teammates were like, bruh, you know, I went from a one-man show just in the middle of the night to like a little team, and we were like, it's time to get serious. And so then that's why we moved here to Iron City, because we were in desperate need of our own kitchen. We were overflowing a taco lady, we were overflowing a head chef who owned the property, and so that's why we landed here. But the bottom line is I never had any intention to move to Alabama and start a food business. I just moved to Alabama because it was the best opportunity post-service. And it's funny how like God pushes you sometimes where you're supposed to be. because I couldn't imagine being in this position if I would have retired or moved anywhere else, you know, even in the United States. And so I think it's funny how I'm a big believer in life, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, everything happens for a specific reason. Either you know, sometimes just to feel good and enjoy life, but even sometimes the things that we consider bad are like learning moments. And sometimes those really, really bad times, we don't realize it in the moment, but it pushes us in the direction where we're supposed to be versus the direction that we were trying to force ourselves into. And so yeah, man, it's been a crazy journey. I just kind of followed it when it started, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
That's great, that's great. I also see you real big on family. You do a lot of work with your son.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, so like, yeah, we're real big, and you know, we started it together. They were with me for 18 years in the Air Force, and they followed me around for forever. And they kind of mad at me right now because, you know, they're like, Dad, come on now, you starting a restaurant? We already did an Air Force thing. But I think what's important is just even like your extended family. Like first, a lot of the recipes that I use here in the restaurant is stuff my mom, my grandma, my in-laws, and everybody. You know, when you go to like a family like Christmas or Thanksgiving, you like, you know, like, you know, man, this is delicious. Who made this? Oh, you made it, man. What'd you do with that? You know, and you start learning, you change it to yourself. But like, and then my sons, both of my sons routinely work here. They love it. They think it's hilarious. They have fun with it. And they're learning at a very young age, you know, how to manage and how to be business leaders. Like I treat them just like I treat my employees, and so yeah, they do get a kick. I think my one son Charlie, he's incredibly particular, and he's very, very observant, and so he likes to do expo. He likes to plate the food, and he be yelling at people whenever it ain't right. My other son Clayton, he's incredible at boils, and people in this restaurant have said, "Hey, did your son cook tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "I know, that's because they taste good." But he can do really good boils. But he's also kind of like a social butterfly, so he likes kind of working in the front of the house and floating around and talking to people and bragging about how like he thinks that we had the best Cajun food.
So recently, I came in and I visited you on Father's Day.
Yes, sir.
And you had that gator up there.
Yes, sir.
What's the secret to making a good gator?
Bro, I can't tell everybody on my secret. I'm just kidding. So, you know, alligator meat cooks a lot like pork. You want to do it low and slow, and but gator meat is like a white, flaky, delicious meat, and it basically takes on whatever flavor profile you put on it. Now, the problem with gator meat is that the gator fat doesn't render like a pork fat or like a beef fat, and it tastes kind of fishy. So if you ever have bad gator, it's because them couillons didn't know what the hell they were doing. If you ever go to like a smoked gator, you see somebody with a whole smoked gator and the tail's not split open, that means they don't know what they're doing, because you see inside that big tail and in the bottom and some parts in the arms and stuff, you have what's called the fat cap. So what we do is we split the tail open, we carve out the fat cap and get all of that gator fat out of there. And then we season, butter the inside, we stuff it with boudin, then we sew it up. Then we baste the outside with like a garlic butter basting sauce. Sometimes we use a barbecue type sauce. And since we took all the fat out of the gator and we know we're gonna smoke it, we gotta put fat back into it, so we wrap that sucker in bacon. Then after we season it, baste it, wrap it in bacon, and then towards the end of the smoke, we'll put some type of glaze on it. My favorite glaze is an apple habanero glaze. It's got that like sweet heat, it's got incredible flavor, incredible color, and it just brings that gator to life. And so if you get it right, and you smoke the gator right, you just pull that sucker just like you would a pork butt. And that meat is super tender, it's super flaky, and it's absolutely delicious. And like I said, we build it in levels, and we sew it all back up, so you couldn't even really tell that it was busted. But if you ever show up to a smoked gator and there's just a bunch of stuff in the carcass and then the tail's completely together and it's not sewn, bruh, you're gonna get some good pieces, but he don't know what he doing.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, I see that you got a award-winning gumbo. How did you know that you had that gumbo that had that oomph in it?
So listen, I didn't. So like when we were first starting the truck out, you know, we roll Cajun Boudin, we ain't roll Cajun gumbo, but I'm like, bruh, if there's gonna be a Cajun cooking competition, you better believe that we're gonna jump in that sucker, right? And I heard of the Cahaba Brewery Gumbo Gala just from word of mouth, and people were like, hey man, like they do this gumbo competition, you should jump in it. And at the time, we were a brand new business, and it's all donated. So it benefits Episcopal Place, which is like a home for older folks. And so didn't really have a whole lot of money. And so one of my customers was like, Matt, you got the best food in the world. We're gonna sponsor you. And so she got her business to help out and sponsor us for that first competition. And we were like, hey, you know, this at least will be an opportunity for us to get some exposure to the community, let people know that there's this new Cajun food truck in town. We entered the Gumbo Gala and we won first place chicken sausage, and we won first place People's Choice the first time we did it. And then this year we were back-to-back champs. So I tell people back-to-back world champions. But you know, gumbo's one of them things, you gotta keep it simple, stupid. Everybody, at least like Cajuns, everybody's really particular on the gumbo. Some like it a little thin, some like it a little thick, some like it with filet, some like it without filet. But the bottom line with your gumbo is your roux better be dark. You better have a dark roux. Hey, what kind of roux you use for your gumbo? A dark one. That's what kind of roux I use. And then also you gotta have good sausage, you gotta have good seasoning for your chicken. If you got good sausage, you got good seasoning for your chicken, your gumbo gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. Other than that, it's just about the process. How long do you have time to let it sit? Because the longer it sits, the better it gets. And if you want to get super fancy, you can even smoke that chicken before you drop it in your gumbo, before it starts breaking up a little bit. It adds a little bit more of a roasty, you know, a roasty, smoky flavor, which even enhances the flavor.
So you know we both People's Choice winners, because I was
Let's go. Let's go. And that was honestly the most important, right? Because I'm like, listen, I love y'all. Thank you so much. If you like my gumbo and you like an executive chef or something like that, like, thank you so much. That really does mean a lot. But what I care about is when that line's all the way down the road. That's what I care about.
So anybody trying to get into the restaurant business, what would you do? What advice?
So what I would say is like cooking good food is like one skill set that you have to have. And it's funny because somebody just recently asked me this, and I would say like number one, from an internal perspective, like you gotta go all in. Like there's no half step in this shit. Like you have got to go all in, mentally, physically, financially. There is no half stepping. It's incredibly competitive, and so you know there's a bunch of different kind of restaurants. So you got to first even determine like why am I doing this, right? Like what am I passionate about? But you know, if you're gonna do one of those restaurants like tacos, hamburgers, hot dogs, all that stuff, you know, there's a lot of people who can do that the exact same way. So are you gonna try to sell 2,000 hot dogs 10 cents cheaper than the other guy, right? And so, but then the other part of the restaurant industry, what I found is like, okay, you have these niche now, like you have Italian restaurants, you know, you've got like French, you've got Greek, you've got, you know, Middle Eastern, you got Cajun. And so, number one, it's not a zero-sum game, so you can have multiple good, similar genre restaurants, right? Like you can come in here and be like, you know what, Roll Cajun, they got some good gumbo, but my favorite po' boy down the road, you know? And that's fine, bro, because there's always gonna be a good selection of stuff, but internally, man, you really got to be all in. I tell people the best role in any business is the number two guy. Because guess what? The number two guy, he's gonna get paid on time. You know, he's only got one boss. He's got a lot of power. But being the owner, bruh, you gotta make sure your payroll gets taken care of. You gotta make sure the lights stay on. And if them couillons don't finish washing the dishes and everybody leaves, well, guess what? That's your ass staying behind and washing them dishes. And there's been many nights I've been standing out here on the road, washing stuff, doing stuff, picking up trash. and making sure the people are taken care of. But it takes a lot of time, and it's much easier to work long hours and to do tasks that are not super popular whenever your heart's in it and you're passionate about what you do. And so, like, a little bit more about like that other genre. The reason why it's so difficult is because when you talk about Italian, you talk about Cajun, people are going to typically go where they hear who's the best. You know, so it's not like there's no such thing as doing like cheap, authentic Cajun. All of our seafood comes from either Louisiana or the Gulf. All of our sausage comes from Louisiana. I love Conecuh. They just don't belong in nobody's damn gumbo.
Oh.
You know, you need, so when I say it's authentic Cajun, we source all of our spices, a lot of our meats, all of our seafood from Louisiana. It is cooked exactly the same way it would be cooked anywhere on the Gulf Coast of Louisiana, south of I-10. It's the exact same plate that you would get at my house back home, and I'd be proud to serve to all my partners back home. Very difficult to do that, right? And so, like, that's like the internal piece. You might have to be a little crazy, and you have got to go all in. If you half-step, you're not going to survive. And you've also got to be really resilient. Like, you got to get kicked in the face and then be able to freaking bounce back. It's kind of like being a tennis player. You know, like tennis players, you know, they lose a point, win a point, lose a point, win a point, win a point. You know, you have got to forget. Or like a cornerback in the NFL. Bruh, next play, let's go. Because you're going to get beat sometimes. But that's okay. Just never freaking quit. And then I think the second part is follow the demand. Sometimes you might start a business model like I thought I was gonna have a grocery store. When I first started, I was like, man, we're gonna have a little grocery store. We're gonna just do this, this, and this. But like when people called and asked for boudin balls and asked for this, I just started providing my customers what they were asking for. And so my business model changed to the demand signal of what people were asking for. And so you got to kind of be flexible, you know, as long as you stay within your wheelhouse, you feel like I can provide a good high quality product, make people happy. I'm not stepping too far out of the lines where I'm going to drop the ball. And so I just kind of followed the demand signal. And then last but not least, it's the people, man. Like you've got to recruit people, and half the people on my team have never been in a restaurant industry either. We've got a marketing girl, she's our kitchen manager. We've got a guy who does communications. He's in the kitchen. We have brought some restaurant people on who have some experience to help us structure the kitchen professionally, but I'm a military guy. And so, like, we hire here based, like, on character. Like, anybody can do anything if they're the right person. So finding the right people and then taking care of those people is another big piece. And so you gotta be in it to win it. You gotta follow your demand signal and then get a team of employees that are hopefully better than you. And anytime that I'm recruiting, I'm trying to find people who are better than me, because when you're in a room of turkeys, you probably a turkey, but if you're in a room of eagles, man, then you're gonna fly high.
Okay. All right, y'all. You heard it first from Matt at Roll Cajun Boudin. Come check them out. Truly a tastemaker in the city.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.